I want to take you beyond the formula of faith to help you contact the spirit of faith. Not I'm believing. While you are believing, your heart is shaking. I'm believing. While you are believing, you are doubting, but you are trusting God to believe. God never gave you faith for you to stay in that dimension. God gave you faith to enable you obtain victory. What was that thing that Abraham knew without him being taught so much about faith that made him to become the father of faith? What was it that Abraham knew that made him to obey God even when God told him to offer his only son? And there was never a time in the Bible where there was an argument over that issue. The Bible says the moment God was done talking to Abraham, very early in the morning, Abraham took Isaac and began to move. No, he didn't wait for midday. Early in the morning, he was going to execute the counsel of the Lord to kill his own son. No, brother, it's not normal. He knew something. Are you ready to hear it? Very simple. God appeared before Abram in a vision and said to him, Abram, I'm going to give you a child. And the Bible says, and Abraham believed God. This God had told him initially to leave his father's house and go to a place where he would show him. And he followed him. And this God blessed him on the journey. Genesis 13, Abram was blessed with silver and with gold. Even Lot that followed him was also blessed. Now he had been seeing some goodness. In Genesis 15, Abram now told him about this issue of not having a child. And he told him, I'm going to give you. He believed him. And it was counted to him for what? Righteousness. And God went further to say something that God has always planned for humanity. For every man that God delights in, God created also, while he was creating you, a territory. When God was creating Adam, he had already made a territory for Adam. Land. For Abraham, in whom he delighted, he is now telling him, I'm going to give you all this land you are looking at right now. The man he's talking to opened his eyes and looked at the land, and people were inhabiting the land. That promise God made to Abraham shook Abraham. The promise was too good to be true. So Abraham said, I need better convincing than this. God did not rebuke him. God did not even say anything. He just said, get me a heifer. Get me this. Get me this. Because God wanted to establish something. He wanted to activate something that will make Abraham convinced. What was that? God wanted to take Abraham into what we call a blood covenant. That thing called blood covenant in the realm of the spirit is marriage. For any wise woman, no matter how romantic a man's words are to you, the woman will never take him seriously until he takes her to the altar and stands before a priest in the presence of witnesses, her parents included, and weds him. That is when she can be convinced of the man's love. Abraham was dated by God in Genesis chapter 12. He said, follow me. I'll show you a place. And Abraham followed the Lord and was living in tents. So one day he now said, Abraham, I'll give you all this land you are looking at. And Abraham was like, all for me? Are you serious? Show me that this thing is really going to be mine. God laughed. He said, now you're the wise virgin. Abraham said, I want to be convinced too. I want to be convinced. Do more than this. And God said, okay. And he took Abraham to the altar for marriage. God did not give Abraham himself until they broke a covenant. The moment they entered into that covenant, God announced Abraham as his covenant brother. Any man, anywhere, any devil, anywhere that touched Abraham touched God. How did they enter the covenant? It's very simple. He said, get me a heifer, get me this, get me this. And Abraham slaughtered the animal, cut them into two halves, placed one part on one side, placed the other half on the other side, and did it with the other animals. And in between the carcasses, the parts of carcasses, blood flowed. And God Almighty descended. Remember they said a smoking flax came down and went in between. God came down and walked in between it. Now, in Abraham's time, there was this ritual that they normally perform, blood covenant ritual. Whenever a nation or a family wants to be friends with another family, and they wanted the friendship to be that of life, a friendship for life, they cut a covenant. This person will cut his wrist, and blood will flow out, enter into their palm wine. This other one will cut his wrist, blood will flow, enter into the palm wine. They will join the wrists together and drink the blood together. They now said, your blood is inside me, while mine is inside you, so we are blood brothers for life. And they will now do what exchange of gifts, because it's a blood covenant. When two persons are making covenant, blood covenant, when they make those promises, they swear by someone greater, so that that person will stand in a position to judge whosoever violates the covenant. Am I communicating? That's why the man and the woman, they come to the altar to wed in the presence of God. So God cannot become a party to this covenant. Whoever transgresses, God handles. So the Bible made us to understand in Hebrews chapter 6 that when God, it was time for him to swear, he looked around for somebody greater than him. He could not find any. He looked around, and while he was looking around, Satan was there. And he bypassed him because he was not greater. He wasn't even as great, talk less of being greater. So God was trying to convince this man, Abraham, that I'm willing to keep my word. Let's look for somebody greater. He found none. The Bible now says, by himself he swore. For when God made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself. What did he swear? Saying, surely blessing I will bless thee, and multiplying I will multiply thee. The Bible says he swore by himself. See what he actually did. God placed his hand on his throne and swore by his throne. He said, Abraham, the day I fail to keep my part, I lose my throne. I cease from being God. Now, God was doing that to prove his integrity, his faithfulness, that he is committed to keeping the vows he has made. He said, the day I fail to keep my own part of this bargain, may I lose my throne and cease from being God. And why will they walk in between carcasses? He was saying, any day any of us violates it, may we be like these dead things. In other words, every promise that God gives to you is backed up with a sworn oath. That is convincing alone. That God told you by whose stripes you were healed. He did not give you mere words. His words alone is enough. Guaranteed. With his words, he created the heavens and the earth. That was enough. He went the extra mile to convince Abraham to believe in his word by swearing, if this word does not come to pass, I cease from being God. What more convincing does a man need? When Abraham saw that, Abraham believed.